Hello YouTubies, this is King Scribe and thanks for watching this YouTube video. Right, so I've got some news for you today. So a little while ago in my area there was some huffle buffle, right, whatever that fucking means, but there was a bit of name calling by the council and the public said no. They adamantly said no to it. It's a park near my area that has been there for a long time, before the Victorian age, a long time. It's been there forever, and it's been used for car boot sales, weddings probably, the hippie movement back in the 60s, fairgrounds, just a lot of activities really. And it's not the biggest park in the world, but it's well known in the area, so people actually like going on it sometimes. And well, it's owned by the public, of course, and people go there to play footy, to do all sorts of things. And because the public said no for them to develop some properties on that area, there was some waiting, a couple of months. And then suddenly there was cyclists suddenly just turned up on the field, and they started to ride on it all the time. And I have a feeling that they were told to do it by the council anyway, but anyway, you know, because they weren't there before, they just suddenly appeared after the council were told no, not to sell the field. And then suddenly you get all these mobs turning up with helmets, you can't see their face, driving scooters and motorcycles onto the field. So to protect the public's field, what they did was they built some fences around it. Thank you. You probably sent your sons and daughters out to wreck it, but thank you for protecting the field by fencing it off. Alright, so most people in their mind, subconsciously, when you see a big fence around the field, you think maybe that's privately owned and I shouldn't go on it. But it's not privately owned, it's owned by the public. That's the beautiful thing about this. It's actually owned by the public. But to protect our field, to protect our park and our right, they decided to fence it off. Right? And more than that, they put gates on it with padlock facilities. Now they didn't use the padlock facilities at first, but they have padlock facilities on it. Now don't forget that this is used by the public to play footy and all that. It's been downgraded quite a lot in recent years because people haven't been using it as much, because they've been watching TV and playing on the internet, pretty much like I'm doing actually. But I've got a reason. I'm looking after a small family. I don't always have time to go out and get pissed all the time, but some people do, right? And they like to go on the field at night, drink it. Nothing like that happens. All right, I've been living there for a number of years. I've seen no huffle buffle on the field at night, nothing at all. Just a few dickheads now and again turn up, of course, that happens all over the place, but nothing sinister, right? So after they fenced it off, we could still go on during the day and at night, and nothing was really stopping them from using it. And then within a few months after that, padlocks had turned up, and the padlocks turned up at night. The excuse: we don't want people going on the field at night burning wheelie bins, even though the wheelie bins can't really be carried on, but they don't want that to happen. So first it was the motorcyclists, then it was the wheelie bins, and now the field has been padlocked off for a week. Alright, completely nobody can use it. Their excuse, they haven't come up with an excuse. And I have a feeling that this is a slow gaslighting progress for them. They want to sell it off for property developers, right? And to do this, they have to slowly cancel off the people who can use the field. If people see padlocks on the field, they think, oh, it's privately owned. It's probably the football club over there. The football club has not actually said nobody can use the field. They don't own it. They just use it. All right? It's not privately owned, but they're allowed to use it, and this is well understood even by them. But because the field's there, and there's like this little company that owns a football club that's built a shed nearby, people automatically assume that it's owned by the football club. It's not. But they have the rights to fence it off as well. So they can put the padlock on with an excuse of we've got to let the grass grow, even though the grass has been growing quite nicely despite people walking over it all the time. It's nothing wrong with it. From what I can see, the grass is growing absolutely fine. They're playing footy on there, but now that they've fenced it off, nobody can use it. Nobody can use it at all, except for the football players. So it's turning out now that what's happening is they are fencing it off and keeping it fenced off. They could just say, oh, we forgot to take the padlocks off. But you can bet your life that over the next few months, maybe take a year or so, the padlocks will turn up more and more during the day. So most people won't be able to use it. That's exactly what's happening now. Exactly what's happening. Now, here's the thing, guys, right? If I didn't have a small family, right? If I didn't have one, those padlocks wouldn't be there now. They wouldn't. They simply wouldn't be there because I'll snap the fuckers off. Alright, I'll lever the fuckers off if I didn't have a small family, because I don't like this gaslighting thing that's being done by the council. Now, I'm not going to do that, of course. I'm not going to do that because I've got a small family. But if I didn't, I certainly would have done. You know, by now, you know, especially yesterday when I found out about it, I would have definitely gone around there with a big lever and snapped the fuckers off, one after another. And the only reason why I didn't do it is because I've got a small family, so I can't. There's no threat there of me doing it, but it would definitely have been gone by now, because I can see exactly what the council's doing. They are gaslighting people not to use the field, and they've slowly done it over time. They're taking a good 6 months to do this. It's taken them some time to do it, but they're working it out, and nobody's complaining about it. Nobody's complaining about it. Just wait until you end up with big holes through those fences. Just you wait. Obviously, the field can be invaded by squirrels or something, moles, I suppose. But I've got a real good feeling what's going on right now. They're selling that off to property developers, and there's already been a school that's being developed close by. So perhaps the school wants to own a little bit of the property there, and they can't do it initially because the public would say no, you can't take all the field. But if they can actually, you know, say, well, you know, you're actually allowed to use the field, right? So can we walk through a fence, a padlock, can we, without breaking it? So that's what they say. You know, you can actually use the field. We just forgot to take the padlocks off. Get fucked. You didn't forget to take the padlocks off. You're doing it on purpose. I mean, if it was something to do with, you know, burning willy bins at night, why did it have to be kept on during the day? Why has it been kept on all week? Nobody can give a good explanation for it. And honestly, if I didn't have a small family, those padlocks would be snapped off within an instant, and I'll be happy to do so. It's not a threat, guys. I mean, it's not a threat. It's just the fact that it pisses me off so much. I don't like that sort of thing happening in a public area. It's a park. It's for children, right? It's for children to play. It's for footballers to play. It's for people to have picnics. You know, most of the land already is owned by private property, private developers. All right. There's very few places where you can actually go out nowadays without standing on the property of somebody else's. You know, in the past, yeah, it was owned by kings and queens, but back then it was so wide and varied, the land, that they couldn't enforce it anyway. You know, it's just impossible. People would walk all over the place, and then nobody would actually pay any attention to it. It's too difficult to police. But when they padlock everywhere off, then that's a case where nobody can get to those places. Just you wait, guys. Right? You might think this is not serious. So already there's very little places you can actually go out for a decent walk. Right? You have to go on the pavement right now. There's no places to sit down really, except for bus stops, but you have to be waiting to go to somewhere. I think we're turning into prisoners in our own homes. You know, you don't realise, but you actually are. There are ways to do it, to get around it. There's definitely ways to get around it. But just you wait. Just you guys wait until they start fencing off roads. It'll come. It'll definitely come. So you know your private roads that are owned, not the private, but the main roads will stay open. But eventually they'll put some gates up on some of the roads so not everybody can get through without some sort of bypass of some sort. It's going to happen. I can see it happening already. I can almost sense what they're doing before they do it. They are sneaky little fuckers. And the people who run the council in my area are just fucking nutcases. Definitely psychos, no doubt about it. Could cost them a lot of money in the end though, isn't it? That doesn't cost them much for a padlock. Anyway, thank you for watching, and goodbye for now. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. It's a bit of a rant, I suppose, but you know, I have a right to actually say what I feel about this. See you later.